Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of UA Eats. I'm UA and I am craving steak again on this channel, and let's face it, it doesn't really take a lot of time for me to crave steak again. There are a few things I like more in life than a delicious aged steak, preferably dry aged, but wet aged is okay too. And I'm at a spot that many of you guys have recommended to me, a spot that's north of Times Square, not quite in Times Square, not even in like the outskirts of Times Square, but north of it, like if you walk like maybe 10 blocks or so. I'm at Empire Steakhouse. And this is a steakhouse that many of you have recommended to me, and even though it may not be one of the historical iconic steakhouses, many of you say that this place is excellent and to die for. Now, if you like steak, New York City is it's like a paradise. There's so many great steakhouses. I would say that an average steakhouse in New York will blow your mind. Pretty much most other cities in the US at least. And Empire Steakhouse, just taking a look at the menu, looks pretty good. Prices are a bit on the high end, but I guess that's to be expected considering its location. You know, we are in Manhattan and pretty close to Times Square and the theater district. They actually have some pretty good options here. They have some Wagyu steak, including some imported Wagyu steak. So if we like this place, we might come back and try one of them sometime, like a imported authentic A5 Wagyu steak, which I don't think I've ever had before. I don't think I've ever had A5 steak, American or Japanese. But most likely we're gonna veer towards the side here. We are here for lunch, and they seem to have a pretty good lunch menu here. They have a $40 lunch special. Looks pretty good. I wonder if it comes with any sides or anything, but only one way to find out. Let's check it out. Okay guys, so we are inside the Empire Steakhouse, but it's a really cool restaurant. It's a beautiful vibe on the inside. They got, you know, all these steakhouses, even though I'm pretty sure Empire Steakhouse was founded in the early 2000s, but all of them try to recreate that old school New York feel with, you know, black and white photos of stars from the Roaring 20s and things like that. So Empire Steakhouse might be a newer addition, but they're still trying to recreate that old school New York steakhouse feel. And I really dig just how stunning this restaurant is, all the chandeliers everywhere. Enough chat, let's look at the menu real quick. So here we got the lunch menu, 40 bucks, well, $39.95 technically, and it comes with a starter, including some salads and some typical starters such as fried calamari and things like that. Meatballs actually look nice, like some Italian style meatballs. And then for an entree, they got a New York strip. I gotta find out if that's their standard New York strip since they're signifying that it's boneless. I'll ask if that's their standard dry-aged one. Then they got short rib, filet mignon, and some fish and chicken parmesan. You know, oftentimes these steakhouses have some overlap with Italian-American cuisine. Burger sounds up my alley too, but you know what? 40 bucks, we're gonna do a steak, especially at a steakhouse. We can do the burger next time. Although it looks like it's only 2 courses. Yeah, it looks like this is their a la carte menu, but it looks like this does not include a dessert. You know, since we're in Empire Steakhouse, I'll say, I find your lack of dessert disturbing. Let me know if you get the reference. If it turns out that this New York strip though is not the one that we want, they also have the dinner menu back here. So just showing you the non-steak options real quick. And then just gonna pan to the left. And it's definitely a much more extensive dinner menu, no surprise there. We'll probably go with one of the salads. But worst case, it looks like this is the prime New York strip here. Do they have ribeye? Yeah, they do. Actually, maybe we could do bone-in ribeye. Or we'll do the prime New York strip steak. So one of those. These are expensive, but if we have a good experience here, maybe we can come back and try some of these Wagyus, especially this Japanese A5 Wagyu steak. Wow. I've never had A5 steak, American or Japanese, so can't wait for this. It's actually a dream of mine to someday go to Japan for this channel just to eat Wagyu steak in Japan, specifically to eat Kobe steak in Japan. So if enough of you guys want it to happen, then I'll make it happen. But for now, it's a bit pricey, so I'm waiting for the right time. But anyways, let's order. Hi, yeah, I'm ready. Quick question, so the New York strip on this lunch special, is that the same as the prime New York strip on the dinner menu? It's not the same one?
This is the prime, yeah.
This is not prime? Oh.
coming with the bone, the thicker. This one it's already coming in the rare oil. It's very good.
Got it. Is it possible that rather than get it separately, can I like upgrade this to the dinner one? Do you guys do that?
Excuse me?
Can I like, so this is 40 bucks, but can I like upgrade the price difference to the dinner menu? Do you guys do that? No, okay, okay. Okay, that's okay. So I'll do a Caesar salad. Yeah. I'll do the, is the prime New York more popular or is the ribeye more popular?
Depends which one you like. If you're selling the more prime.
Okay, I'll do the prime New York strip steak, medium rare.
Medium rare?
Yes. Good thing I asked, and you know, he was upfront with me. He said it's not going to be the same steak. He said it's going to be a not prime one, so like when they're upfront with you. Good service in that regard. They brought the bread, so we're going to review that. And yeah, okay. Not much for bread, just 2 rolls here. Not exactly an Empire State sized portion of bread, but it's okay. I mean, the bread is not exactly the star of the show, so it does look good, I will say that. Like, it looks nice and puffy and nice crispy crust on top. So we're approaching the colder months, so gonna sanitize the hands real quick since, you know, COVID and flu season is in high gear now. And yes, I am aware that those are respiratory diseases and touch does not typically factor in, but I don't know, I just like to do these things. It just makes me feel good, peace of mind. Let's grab one of these rolls and let's see how this is. Let's see if this will be good or if this will make, you know, Empire Steakhouse, if this will make Lord Vader go, "You have failed me for the last time." I know it's just a... Alright.
Do you have a selfish allergy? Also?
Yes.
So there isn't anchovies on the dressing.
There is a what?
Anchovies.
Anchovies are totally okay. Thank you so much. Oh, it's good that they asked. Anyways, I know this is just complimentary bread, but I would say this is one of the less good ones I've had, so sorry, Admiral Ozzel, I don't think Vader would have been pleased with this. I thought it was gonna be more like fluffy, like airy on the inside, but it's actually quite dense. Like, it's quite hard and dense, and the outside is buttery, but almost a little bit too much so, like almost like it's kind of like croissant, which would be okay if the inside were more fluffy and, you know, airy like a croissant, but the inside is quite dense, and I don't know, it might just be me, but the bottom, what do you guys think? The bottom almost looks like it's not done. Like, that almost looks like it's like raw pastry or something on the bottom. So yeah, it makes the whole thing kind of dense and not pleasant. Let's try with some butter though. See if that somehow lifts this. It'll probably help a little bit just because it's butter, you know. Butter this guy up. See if this helps at all. I mean, even a Land O'Lakes on like a piece of white toast is gonna taste good. Although the quality of their butter is not exactly super high. Like, this is some pre-packaged butter, clearly, that you get at like a Holiday Inn at their continental breakfast. But I mean, it tastes better, but it still doesn't really overcome the denseness of the inside. And yeah, I do think, I don't know, that stuff on the bottom, I hope I'm mistaken, but I do think it might even be kind of raw on the inside. So anyways, oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Like some pepper?
Yes, please. That's good enough. Thank you so much. I didn't even have time to switch the camera off while I wait. You know, do my standard water drinking transition scene. So this is the Caesar salad, and it actually looks okay, if you ask me. Like, it looks like the amount of dressing is quite even. It's not too wet. The pepper that he put on top was a good touch. And yeah, I like the amount of grated cheese, evenly sprinkled as well. Those are some crunchy looking croutons, and it's a good size. I wonder, had I gotten the lunch special, if this would have been a lame, smaller lunch portion, but this is a good size, so nothing to it but to dig right in. First a bite without the crouton. All right, let's see if this crunch helps at all. It tastes very healthy, and when I say that, I feel like it could be a little bit more heavily dressed. Like it could have more dressing on it. The black pepper on top was the perfect touch to add a little bit more kick, a little bit more flavor to the whole thing. The flavors here are all great. Like this is really, really fresh lettuce. The croutons are nice and crispy without feeling like they're dry, like you know, without feeling like stale or anything, and they're not too oily, which you sometimes get with croutons. And this dressing tastes great. Like he asked if, you know, if I was allergic to anchovies. You know, I'm not. I am not allergic to anchovies. Glad he asked. And there definitely is a strong anchovy flavor in this, and it's pleasant. Like I personally like anchovies, so I like Caesar salad for that reason. But the issue with this dressing is I just wish there was more of it. Like the dressing is not strong enough where such a thin layer is gonna really give a good flavor to the whole salad. So either have the dressing be stronger or have there be just more of the dressing to give more flavor, like have it just be wetter. Because of that, since it's not very heavily dressed, it just tastes really, really, really healthy, I think, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but that's why we have the steak coming up to, you know, fill in that gap of, you know, this was pretty healthy, now we need something less healthy for our lunch, so. Actually, some parts of the salad are more heavily dressed than others. I guess the dressing was just a little bit uneven here, or the cheese may not have been evenly distributed. Like, maybe what I just ate was more of the concentrated cheese, which really helps to amplify the dressing, but. Actually, the parts that are more heavily dressed taste pretty good, so we're off to a decent start. Bring on the steak. You know what it is? The cheese they're using is really good. That's all it comes down to. The parts that have more of the cheese taste great. Like it's really good freshly grated cheese, really good quality. Like they're not using that like cheap stuff from like a bottle. They're using like a real block of Italian cheese and they're shaving it. Like the bottled stuff just doesn't have that amazing funky aged flavor from the stuff from a block, especially from the source in Italy. So, I know it's labor intensive for them to shred so much cheese, but I wish they gave me more cheese and made this less healthy, because when you eat the cheese parts, everything comes together and it just tastes so good.
Hot plate.
Thank you.
Very hot plate.
Wow.
Beautiful. This one sauce. This is good for you?
Yeah, that's good.
There's the sauce.
Yes, please.
Oh. Enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow, look at this. Look at this sizzling plate. I see this is another one of those steakhouses inspired by Peter Luger, you know, which has spawned many imitations and spin-offs, such as Wolfgang's and Benjamin's, which we've eaten at on this channel. And I'm so glad that he recommended me the dinner version and not the, you know, not the lunch version, because this looks excellent. This is not a necessity, but it's nice to have. Unlike Wolfgang's and Peter Luger, it looks like we got a sear on both sides. Yeah, I think so, although I think the sear is stronger on one side than the other, which is to be expected. And it's still bubbling even now, so yeah, this plate is gonna keep this whole thing warm. What's great about eating out in restaurants in general is that often a hack is that they will heat up the plate, but this is like next level. Peter Luger Benjamin's and to some extent Ruth's Chris, keeping it sizzling, so they're taking rest of the steak so that it comes to doneness while you wait to a whole nother level. So let's start with a bite of this. Ooh. It's a good knife that they gave us. Yeah, looking pretty good. Maybe a little bit more rare than medium rare, but that's okay. I don't mind a slightly rare steak. So sear on one side. Okay, not a big sear on the other side. Maybe that's just when he pressed it to the plate, but looking delicious regardless. Ooh. That was pretty good. One of the best steaks I've had in a really long time. Second bite. Suddenly got really quiet. I think a table just left. Now, we've eaten a lot of steakhouses that are similar to this presentation style, like I mentioned. Peter Luger, Benjamin's, Wolfgang's, but this might be one of my favorites, if not my favorite so far, just because I think one of the best things about this place is just I have yet to find a steakhouse to get such an amazing crust. I mean, just look at this bad boy. It's so crispy throughout, charred, Maillard reaction, beautiful. And it's not just appearance, it adds texture and some caramelization as well. It adds texture, and this is so crazy tender and juicy on the inside. Sorry, they say not to play with your food, but check out how unbelievably moist and tender this is. Wow, this is New York strip, but you would think this is like filet mignon or something. And I'm glad that he told me which one was gonna be dry aged. The dinner version is dry aged and it's delicious. Okay, I guess I wish the dry aged flavor could be a little bit stronger, but I've had stronger dry aged flavors. This one's more subtle, but it's definitely there. But it has dry aged flavor. I wish it were stronger, but in this case, like the tenderness, the marbling, just, like making the beef so tender and moist, and you get like the flavor from that fat as well, and the flavor of the beef too, like the delicious beefy flavor. I'm being honest, guys, this is probably one of the best steaks I've had in a really long time. I think this is probably already one of my top steakhouses in New York. It's fantastic. Like, is this not one of the most beautiful seared steaks? One of the most beautiful sears you've ever seen? Wow. Nice finishing salt on top too, switching up the texture here and there. I'm really hard pressed to find anything wrong with this steak. It's almost like a perfect steak. Oh shoot, I almost forgot. I almost forgot to try it with the steak sauce and the peppercorn sauce. So, peppercorn sauce first. All right, this one's got lots of sauce on it. Might be hard to see. I actually kind of dig that. I don't often like peppercorn sauce, but in this case, it actually went pretty well. Like, this steak has an amazing sear, but I like when steaks have like a nice black pepper flavor to go along, like some spice to go along with the salt and the rest of the meat. But that's where this black pepper, that's where this peppercorn sauce comes in. It kind of infuses the steak with that pepper flavor, kind of gives it more of that spice kick. But what I like about this peppercorn sauce is that it really has a flavor of like freshly grated pepper, as opposed to just a generic, more mild pepper sauce. So it really, really goes well with the steak. It almost tastes like you have like freshly grated black pepper on top, but in like a moist sauce form. And the consistency is nice, like it's not too runny. Well, I guess it's a little on the runny end, like maybe it could be a little bit more thick, but otherwise, I enjoy it. But anyways, let's try the steak sauce. And I'm not usually a fan of steak sauces. I feel like good beef should stand on its own, or to clarify, good steak should stand on its own. Some cuts of beef go well with sauce. If you're paying like 60, 70 bucks for a steak, that meat better be good enough to not need any sauces, right? But let's try some of this steak sauce. I wonder if this is gonna be similar to the Peter Luger one as well, since this restaurant seems to be kind of influenced by the Peter Luger school of thought. It could be, because similarly to their sauce, it has like a pretty strong Worcestershire sauce like smell to it. So let's dig in. All right. I like it. I mean, it has some similarities to the Luger sauce, but it's not quite one-to-one. Like, it's actually quite different in many ways. It does indeed have like a very strong Worcestershire, how do I say that? Worcestershire, I think, right? It has like a strong Worcestershire flavor, so that's definitely the base. So if you don't like Worcestershire sauce, then it's not gonna be for you, but it tastes like Worcestershire sauce, but it has like a kick. It has some like added spiciness. Like, it's definitely more spicy. Like, it's got a tiny bit of heat to it, which makes it taste really nice. And it's not too sour. Like, it's sour enough to be acidic, but It's both sweet and sour, like Chinese sweet and sour dishes always strive to be, but tend to either be too sweet or too sour. This one strikes like the perfect balance between both, while also being a little spicy. So it's hot, sweet, and sour, which I like. And it also is kind of a nice looking sauce, like it has like a nice shine on it. Let's take a look if it says Worcestershire on the bottle. Oop, refrigerate after opening. I'm pretty sure this was open already, but hopefully it's okay. I guess it wasn't really open for long. And oh boy, look at all those ingredients. I guess a lot of these ingredients are normal things anyways, for the most part. Anyways, we're gonna finish as much of this delicious steak as we can and step outside for some final thoughts. Thank you so much. Yeah, just a little bit's okay. Thank you so much. Enjoy. Actually, I was about to wrap up the review, but you know, they're really, really nice. They brought some cream spinach for me to try. He scooped some onto the plate for me, and it's interesting that it kind of holds its shape. Like it doesn't run off the sides of the plate. Like it kind of holds its shape as like a round, almost like cream spinach, like hockey puck or something. Like it's not just like a, you know, liquidy, pretty much soft and runny cream spinach, which not necessarily a bad thing, but very interesting. I don't think I have a spoon here, but I think this is thick enough where a fork will hold its shape. Yep, it's not even gonna fall through the holes in the fork, so, or not holes, the gaps in the fork, you know what I mean. Anyways. Oh, that is interesting. The spinach flavor is not super strong, but I gotta say, like this cream spinach has, it is like one of the creamiest, most buttery tasting cream spinaches I've ever seen. And it's also pleasant to look at, like the nice shine and the way the whole thing keeps together without being too runny and drippy. Wow. Excellent. All right, guys, I just finished eating at Empire Steakhouse, and yeah, I got my leftovers here. Oh, there's no logo on the bag. All right, that's fine. Guys, that was fantastic. That was a fantastic meal. I mean, okay, besides the bread, other than that, everything else I generally liked. Any complaints I had probably were more like nitpicks than actual like serious flaws. Yeah, I pretty much liked everything that I ate for the most part, and that steak, that was hands down one of the best steaks I've had in a really long time, if not one of the best steaks I've ever had. I really mean it. That might have been one of the best steaks I've ever had. And here in New York, that's really saying a lot. It's just amazing that here in New York, there's so many great steakhouses. I mean, there's all the famous historical places, you know, Keens, Gallaghers, Peter Luger, but here, you know, it's like you ask 20 New Yorkers what their favorite steakhouse is, you'll get 20 different answers. And I mean, it just goes to show you try a new place and it might blow a lot of the other ones out of the water. I mean, this place might not have the history that those, you know, 100-year-old places have, but it might not have as much big history, but it has as much big flavor. It was fantastic. One of the best steaks I've had so far, if not the best. Wow, that was a fantastic meal. So, I mean, who knows, guys? Obviously, this is just my opinion. I know taste is subjective, so of course, obviously let me know what you guys think, because, you know, great minds eat alike, but I had a wonderful time at Empire Steakhouse, and, you know, the name is fitting, Empire Steakhouse. Definitely steak fit for an emperor, I think. So, but you know, like I said, steak is subjective, so let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you've eaten at Empire Steakhouse before, and let me know if you think it's pretty good and how it stacks up to the other steakhouses in New York or anywhere else in the world. So let me know in the comments, because great minds eat alike. And as always, if you like this content, if you like my channel, like and subscribe. That way you stay up to date whenever I post another video. So, gonna head home now with, I don't think I had much steak left over. I might have had 1 or 2 pieces, but I do have the bone. So I'll be gnawing that bone, and then I'll be boiling it to make some delicious broth later this week. So until next time, I'll see you later.